thank you for this opportunity. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions, and I'm really looking forward to answering all the questions that I can. And believe me, for all the listeners who are coming and they'll keep coming. So uh, if your question is unanswered right now, I will personally answer them, and you will get the answers, whatever that. So it doesn't mean that 1 hour is 1 hour for I will answer, because this is what I do. This is my passion. I love to talk about sports. So that's why I have my YouTube channel also is called Let's Talk Sports. Uh, and why I call why I named it Sportsy is because I find sports I find sports very sexy. So yeah, this because it's a cool thing, right? So that is what we talk about. So just to give a quick background, I've been in the industry for last 17, 18 years, and thank you, Rajesh, for the wonderful introduction that you gave for me. Before coming into sports, I spent almost 12, 13 years in the management consulting in the US, and having my career in sports for last 8 years. Had phenomenal opportunities to work with IPL, ISL, I League on the commercial side, on the development side. I've been a CEO of India's largest football content platform, Khel Now. Then I've been right now currently I'm the South Asia head for Genius Sports, which is one of the world's leading data and media rights company for the legalized betting market. Uh, and I've worked with NBA in past for the building world's first smart arena for Golden One Arena by Sacramento Kings, where the fan engagement was taken to different levels. So today morning I was reading one of the article about how NBA and Microsoft has come together for giving extra level of fan engagement when there's not going to be a single fan in the stadium when the NBA season starts on 31st of this month. So I remember I went back. It was a kind of nostalgia for me. 4 years back, we had done the whole project for Sacramento Kings and made the whole stadium. Uh, Believe me, for me, the sports comes was my always been part of me while growing up. It is what I call about is sports is the greatest teacher, and the sports field is the greatest classroom that you can come you can have. Uh, I'm not putting education aside. I know the importance of education, and it's always important to balance it. Uh, Believe me, if PV Sindhu can be an MBA, nobody else can give excuse. So you need to understand the importance of sports that you can give to it has, and importance of education. So it's a very important thing to have a balance in the whole system. We need to understand what we are right now. If you are, I'm assuming all the listeners that we have, or the students of Chitkara University are some of them only probably few handful of them are in the prime of their career, which they might be pursuing as an athlete. But we need to understand now what is the sports industry. If you love that industry, what are the opportunities that you have? What kind of thing that you can take it from the industry and be part of something that we really love? Uh, I always people ask me why are you in sports industry? I said ki, how many people in the world can say that they got an opportunity to be part of a sunrise industry? It was manufacturing in 70s, 80s, or the banking in early 2000, internet in 90s, or say telecom in 2000. But not everybody got an opportunity. Now, if you join the IT industry, the industry is already there. You are probably just hired because they don't want a robot to do your work and they need a headcount. But this is the industry. The sports industry is in the sunrise industry. We are talking about 4.3 billion people on this planet who follow sports on daily basis. Out of that, I'm not saying 1.3 billion people are contributing from that to the whole thing, but we are talking about India being a predominantly cricket loving nation. But the whole cricket followership across the world, as per the ICC numbers, are not more than 2 billion. But the football, which is played by 190 countries in the world, which is being followed by almost 4.3 billion people. So we can understand what unites people and what divides people. So let's not get into that kind of debate of what unites us and what divides us. But this is something that is boundaryless. This is beyond religion. This is beyond any culture. This is something that makes sure there's only two things: either you win or you lose. How you deal in your winnings and how you deal in your losing makes shows what your character is. So that's why I always say, what is sports? I start with before I move to the economics of the industry or what opportunities that we have. I start with the first thing. What is sports? Everybody says sports is passion, sports is this, sports is that. No, sports is an activity, physical activity, when you is which is played by governed by some rules and regulation, and which has an outcome or a result for which the data is managed. Even though we are playing gully cricket, you still say last Sunday को मेरे को zero पे out किया था. That means you are taking care of the data. So that means a sports is a physical activity which is played and governed by rules and regulation, and it has a backing of the process of the backing of the data and the records. That is what sports is. It gives you joy. It gives you fulfillment feeling. It is everything. If you go and play half an hour on a field, you yourself will know, irrespective of the age, you yourself will know what you're talking about. So I, on my platform, Sportsy Says on YouTube, I have been interviewed so many people. Right, I have already launched 13, 14 interviews from Aditi Chauhan, who is India's captain goalkeeper, to Sharat Kamal, India's golden boy with table tennis, the biggest table tennis player from India. Then Rahul Tripathi, who has been a cricketer for Maharashtra captain and IPL cricketer. Everybody I talk to, and for them, everybody says one simple thing: the attitude matters. This is from the athlete side. Now let's talk about the people who are joining this thing. They may not be the athlete, or they may be athlete, but they might be looking at career in sports industry. So in that case, you should be looking at somebody who like Mandar Tamane, who is the CEO of Bangalore FC, what he speaks about the whole career, what is the industry is all about. Then you should listen to somebody like Tuhin Mishra. Tuhin Mishra is the founder of Baseline Venture, who manages PV Sindhu and Smriti Mandana and Jemima Rodriguez, the best of the best of Indian women athletes. Uh, we should be listening to somebody like Talwalkar, sir, the senior Talwalkar, who is known as the father of Indian gymming. Nobody thought of it. We had the akhadas and we had the talims before that, but 1932 is when first Talwalkar gym came into picture, and 62 is when he made it commercialized. His dad started it, but he made it commercialized. So we get to learn a lot, and that is why I enjoy on my channel. And believe me, why I started that, only to support, give information to the kids who are looking at it, athletes who want inspiration, the parents who are confused about the kids who are athletes or want to pursue their a career in sports. The parents are also confused. So we need to make sure that I get so many inquiries at one-to-one level. That's why I said, why not? I start something where I interview these people, get the questions answered for what this ecosystem is looking for. The sports ecosystem is based on athlete, parent, management people, and the support staff, which is like coaches and all. These are the four pillars of sports system. So when we take care of all the four pillars, I think there is a phenomenal opportunity for us to look at. So just to move from what is sports to the today's topic, the sports has always been an integral part of our life. For my life, yes, it has been my life for sure. But I'm talking about our life. Everybody has played something somewhere. It could have been any game, but you have played. I'm sure Rajesh had got his knees bruised while running on the streets while he was a kid. But what happened now? We let go the child in us, and we suddenly have an umbrella around us that no, I'm busy in my corporate life, I'm busy in my life. No, but are you giving those 20 minutes to yourself to go back and fall again? Don't get fractured, but at least fall again on the grass. Chitkara has a wonderful campus. I had a privilege to be there a couple of years back when Rajesh gave me the whole tour from the innovation center to the grounds and everything. What stops us? The only thing stops us is here, is the mental thing. And can we break that? That's why the sports industry itself is what we are going to talk about. Uh, Sports is a combination of winning, combination of losing, combination of having your goal, achieving your goal, missing out on your goal. But at the end of it, it's all about being persistent. It's all about having a determination. It's all about being resilient towards what you want to do. This is one thing that teaches you how to stand up when you fall down. This There is no other field which teaches you what. And I'm yes, and Chitkara being in Chandigarh, north part of it, lot of affinity towards defense services. Believe me, there are only two things where you get the biggest patriotism feeling. One, when you win the war because your flag is hoisted, and second, when you win a medal when your flag is hoisted. There is no other place where your flag is hoisted, and there is no better patriotism than winning a war. Or I don't want to have wars, but winning a war or winning a medal. because that is what it gives you the pride, and that is what the whole sports, and that is what it's all about the attitude. It is what we are. We see while growing up in 80s and 90s, we were hammered with cricket. So that's why we love cricket. 83 World Cup winning moment was different. Reliance getting World Cup to India 87 was different. Then the color clothing with Sachin Tendulkar coming into a picture was different. Then we got to see Dada coming into picture, Saurav Ganguly coming into picture was different. Then we see 2003 World Cup, we losing the finals was different. And then we see the MS Dhoni era, and then now the Virat Kohli era. It has. If you see, you're talking about kabaddi. Kabaddi is amazing sport which has picked up. Nobody expected kabaddi to pick up at this level. Badminton, thanks to Saina Nehwal. Yes, Prakash sir won the All England long back, but he became just an icon. But Saina Nehwal and the PV Sindhu and the Kadambi Shrikant and Kashyaps, they completely wrote the script about kids following sports, getting into badminton. Imagine what has happened to that level. We are talking about tennis. Sania Mirza is the only, like, Pace is still not retired. You can imagine the guy's grit. Even after having a brain tumor, coming out of it and playing, he's 44 and still not retired. That is what the whole attitude is all about. And what we are saying, I'm at the age of 35, 40, I'm too tired. The MBA students give me excuse, I don't have time to do this, I can't submit my assignment because this is what. We know how to find excuses. The athlete won't, because at the moment athlete finds an excuse, he knows or she knows that they are not going to be a better version of themselves next day. And that is what sports teaches us. And that's, imagine one thing, the focus that you get because of sports is so much reflected on your academics as well, because finally you don't have to slog for 3 hours. The focus that you have while playing a sport, if you apply the similar focus here, you're actually going to finish the 3 hour work in 1 hour work. And being good in academics is going to help you being a better athlete, because it gives you a better understanding power of the game and how you to react in certain situation and how to conduct yourself. So you have to understand how the good balance of sports and education is. So I'm just trying to shift my gear from what is pure sports to what is education, so then we can talk about the careers and the whole industries what we have. uh, there are times when in the current situation we are like, the sports is fascinating, getting more and more fascinated. We saw a good color clothing, then we saw good camera work coming into picture, then we started saying the internet flooding with a lot of content which is getting provided, like Crick Info, Crick Buzz, or Kabaddi Adda, or Khel Now, or Goal.com. Everybody having throwing so much of content at us. We are flooded with the messages from Insta and on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, everywhere. So many things happening. The content is thrown at us. How do we consume that content? The current generation is very confused about what is the content that's going to be constructive for them and what is the content that's destructive for them. See, today we live in the age of instant gratification. So that means everybody is looking for having a Maggie, which is 2 minutes. Nobody is ready for a biryani. Nobody is enjoying the process. Nobody is investing into that. But if the moment you enjoy, don't focus on the instant gratification, don't the moment you don't focus on the immediate result and start processing, having a process every day, it is going to have a better life for you from sports perspective, management perspective, and overall having a wholesome life for you. So coming to summarize all these things, that's why I always say, let's talk sports. And I'm your today I'm the guest here, but I'm usually the host on my talk show, which is Sportsy Says on YouTube. So I would really appreciate people coming, going, and subscribing to channel for amazing content that we come with. So now moving to the next part of our discussion, we are talking about the ecosystem of sport. Just to give you a small example, everybody talks about Star TV, everybody talks about Dream 11 like fantasy, everybody talks about uh, having goal.com or khalnow.com, where everybody talks about the coaches and the physios and the mental coaching and social media commercialization. Everybody talks about everything. But what happened in the current pandemic when there was no sport? Everybody was fiddling their thumbs, didn't know what to do because there was no athlete in the game. So you have to understand first thing, the ecosystem of sports get derived with an athlete. You need to keep athlete at the center of the whole thing. Unfortunately, it India, we took a lot of time to understand that athlete is the core part of the sports. We started talking about everything else but the athlete. But with the SAI Sports Authority of India playing taking good steps, the tops keep coming up and helping the athletes. So a lot of companies like Run Adam or Go Sports and JSW Sports coming the CSR way and helping the athletes in the whole place. So athletes are started getting secure. People start feeling there is a career to make beyond cricket. Career to make cricket is not the only place where you can make career. You can actually. I'm surprised, but I want to share something. The in kabaddi player are earning more than the football players right now because of PKL. Even though PKL is 3 months and the ISL is 7 months. If you take out Chetri and Sandhu and 2 3 players from ISL, if you look at the whole mass, kabaddi players are earning more because of the visibility that they're getting, the commercialization, the way it has happened. It's a game which is the rural India game, right? It's a tier two, tier three, and below that. That is a game that is seen. So imagine when you get to see that kind of rough and tough core Indian hatta katta naujawan playing that game. That is where you get attracted to it, and that is what kabaddi did. The whole growth of kabaddi is around that. So, but who is getting money now is the athlete. So we have to understand how do we take care of an athlete. So people who might be athletes here, they need to understand that if you have a still professional career left in you to be an athlete, what are the things that you need to do? What are the things that you need to look at? If not, then let's start looking at the whole ecosystem around an athlete. So we'll start with the first thing which an athlete needs. The first thing an athlete needs is a coach. So there is a career. Now I'm touching about every point I'm talking about. I'm talking about the careers in that. So the first beyond athlete. So as an athlete, if you are an athlete, you have a career. Otherwise, there's no career for you if you're not an athlete as an athlete. Now start looking at the other pieces of the puzzle. The puzzle is coach. If you've been a past athlete and now you have retired, have you thought of taking your certifications with a if you're a football player, have you thought of doing your D license, C license, B license, A license, goalkeeping license, AFC license, FIFA license, and have the journey in the coaching side, which is very much required. Right now, India has a dearth of 10,000 coaches, and where we don't know where to find them because we have coaches, but they are not technically certified. They are not qualified. So somebody like Chitkara can actually have a course where they can do the coach qualification, coach certification. Imagine if you say, okay, I'm going to Sports Authority of India and Chitkara is a partner to them, and every coach that we have get a certificate from Chitkara that okay, you are a licensed coach to do something, and in Chitkara goes and ties up with say AFC or FIFA or AIFF or ICC or BCCI or Kabaddi Federation, and get the curriculum from there, coaches from there, and you provide the facility to make it happen. Imagine what kind of revolution that you can make. I'm taking Chitkara name. Yes, we are on the same platform, and this can be done by every university, any university. But whoever understand this first, I think will have an amazing early mover advantage. And the students, and why I'm talking about this because the students of Chitkara can actually take the initiative in the whole process of what we are looking at because they are the one who are the future of the whole generation that we're looking at. India is the youngest country in the world. We have 65% of the population under the age of 35. That means 800 million people under the age of 35. We have 400 million people under the age of 18. So if we don't work with them properly, imagine what kind of problem that we may have. We have to convert this into our strength rather than a weakness. Why is the whole world looking at as a low cost labor from India when it comes to IT? Why can't they look at sports when it comes to that? Why can't our students get recruited by different clubs and different universities for that? That is what we can do, and that is why we have to invest in that. That's why the coach plays a big role in this whole journey. Coaching has got two sides. One is the technical coaching, and one is the non-technical coaching. So non-technical coaching that everybody understands is like a licensed coach. Non-technical coaching is I'm talking about the mental coaching and the physical conditioning, where the physios or the physical trainer, physical conditioning people come into picture. Now we are in the world of functional training that every athlete get trained for the physicality as per their game. In 90s we saw Arjuna Ranatunga with his huge tummy, right, running around places, but he was cricket fit. Was he a fit athlete? No, he was cricket fit. He was effective for cricket. But Look at what Virat Kohli is doing. Look at what level MS Dhoni got. He still says that if I'm not in top three fittest players in the team, then something is wrong. If that is a drive for him at the age of 38, 37, 38, 39, then look at Virat Kohli has changed this. He has up the ante completely. Look at fitness of Jadeja or KL Rahul, even footballers like Sunil Chhetri at the age of 34, or every other sport started focusing on fitness. So when we are looking at that, the physical conditioning is a role that people can take up. Uh, then we are talking about mental conditioning. If people come from psychology background, I'm sure Shitkara must be having the courses around MSc, MA, BA, psychology, and all those things. So the psychology converted into the sports psychology and becoming. So what Paddy Upton is, right? Paddy Upton is known as one of the world's best sports mental coach. In India, we have somebody like Dr. Swarup Savnoor. I have interviewed Dr. Swarup. He is the one who changed the whole story for Vidarbha cricket. Vidarbha never won a Ranji match, and he actually helped them change the mindset, become a mental coach. And after that, we know last 3 years the way Vidarbha performed in Ranji and Vijay Hazare and everything. So he is our India's Paddy Upton. I don't like to compare people, but he is like Paddy Upton is known to people. But Dr. Swarup Savnoor, I have interviewed him on Sportsy channel as well. You should see what conviction that he comes with, what kind of thing that he is talking about. So we talk about the coaching side. Then we'll talk about the second thing an athlete needs is infrastructure. There's a phenomenal opportunity in infrastructure, like in a place like Chitkara University. You have a cricket field, you have a football field, you have uh, so many other areas that we are looking at. Uh, so those that infrastructure can be used accessible for the players. How can more and more players can come and play there? How can more and more teams get opportunity to play there? Can kids that can be open for grassroots kids for particular time of the year? When you're talking about that, when I say infrastructure, you have opportunity to be in infrastructure, like starting your own academy. You can get into turf business, which is a phenomenal. I'm sorry, which is amazing business. Having those 5-a-side, 7-a-side football turf, there is a rental goes on. There's academy can be started. A lot of things are there, and also how to set up a turf itself is a big science to it. You can't just go and put the green lawn somewhere and it's a green mat and say let's play football. No, you have to have a 2 feet, 3 feet kind of digging. Then you put multiple layers, and then you start building your stick. And then the green thing is what you see is just a makeup. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of foundation which goes. So infrastructure is a big business and a career. Then we are talking about another side, which is diet and nutrition. So people can be dietitians, and you don't need to have a specific degree for that, but you need to have an interest and then start getting the aligned certifications for that. Diet and nutrition is a big industry that you're looking at. We are talking about so many whey proteins and muscle blazer and all those people coming into picture. So when I say sports, mind you, I'm talking about sports, fitness, and health all together, because finally they go hand in hand. So we are talking about the nutrition as an industry. How do we look at the whole nutrition industry? There's a business development opportunity available. There is a marketing opportunity available. There is an operations opportunity available. There's an account management. So you have to understand what kind of opportunity that can come in from this industry. Then from there we'll move on to something that people always get associated with is event. It's a huge industry in itself. So inside event, there are multiple industries. So when you say I want to do, like you've been doing your college fest for all the year, every time you do your college, it's an event. And you know that it starts with planning, then after that there's a budgeting, then there is a procurement, then there is the execution part. In execution, there is operations, there is finance, there is admin, there is a marketing, there is somebody who comes on. Only two people are seen on the stage, but there is a 200 people working behind the scene. That's the event industry. When you say I want to say I somebody will say I'm passionate about cricket, I want to work in IPL and in the event. Believe me, guys, you don't even get to see a single ball which is getting bowled there, because you are in the event side, you are managing the whole event to make sure the event is successful. You are not there to watch the game. To watch a game, you have to go as a spectator. But event is what it's see, the event manager's role is as good as a goalkeeper or a wicketkeeper role. You are noticed only when you mess up. If the whole function is smooth, nobody will say that nobody will point a finger at event manager. But the moment you know, अरे खाना खराब हो गया, ये हो गया, मेरा तंबू गिर गया, मेरा वो हो गया, then you start pointing fingers at event manager. Same way, if you miss one catch or miss something, then the wicketkeeper is seen. When you miss one penalty or a goal, that's where the goalkeeper is seen. But the flawless work that they're doing throughout the time is never seen. And that is what the role of an event manager is. They are always there. They have to make sure it's flawless. There's a bigger industry inside that. Then we'll come to the next industry, which is like having the academies, how to make career out of that. So I myself run a small football academy here in Pune where we have around 150 kids. I'm training girls and boys in that. I work with CSR. I take the fees. But starting an academy is basically you need to get two, three coaches together. You need to have one infrastructure we can do it and start the academy. There is a revenue to be made immediately after 2, 3 months. It is not something you do. It's not like technology startup where you have to wait for a 1 year, 2 year to start making revenue. Here you can make revenue immediately. So there are a lot of people who I know. They train the coaches. They do a coach training program. They train the coaches and help them set up their academies in the remote villages. Imagine I'm a badminton coach. I have my infrastructure of 200 people in Pune. I will every year I will train the 10 coaches. I can call it the coach program. And those 10 coaches, I enable them to go to some remote village that they come from and start a badminton academy there or a football academy there. People will pay 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees, but at least even if that person has 20 students with paying 500 rupees each, you're talking about 10,000 rupees of income for 2 hours of work every day. Then you could look at what can be done, how you enhance that. Then you can do the event, you can do local competitions and all those things. There are ways to make money out of it. So that's why I say academies is a very big part of the sporting ecosystem, and that also focuses on developing the grassroots, which is very important because grassroots is one of the biggest sector that you can work with, from the event perspective to coaching perspective to diet nutrition perspective to fitness perspective to everything. The grassroots is a big sector because we always go in 3 levels, right? Athlete goes into grassroots, amateur, and professional, and after that it is recreational. So if you have an academy, you're focusing on a grassroots and amateur, and you're using the infrastructure for the recreational. You may not be giving your input is for a professional. These two players will go into professional life, but don't miss out on the recreational people who wants to find a place where they can go and play. So you have to come up with these kind of infrastructure and academies to make that thing happen. Coming to another aspect of the whole thing, we are talking about fitness and wellness industry, which is allied to sports, and this is specifically for the you have to look at the currently what has happened, right? With the gyms not working in the current, the home fitness has hit to the roof. The company like Fitter from Pune, owned by a friend of mine, saw 100 crore revenue in 1 year. It's a 4 year old company and it is sitting on 100 crore of revenue, annual revenue. So all because of making sure the fitness reaches people's home. So I interviewed Talwalkar sir, and he said one thing: if you like fitness, you need a 20 by 20 space in which you can start your gym, start your personal coaching at 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees if you have a good certification. Even if you have 5 clients every day, you're talking about making 50,000 rupees a month easily. So I'm just trying to give a different aspect of what you can do. And to support all these things beyond athlete, to get into all these things, one of the biggest sector is sports education, which is a very new sector for India. And somebody like Chitkara should take initiative to actually be a great role model in the whole process. So thank you. So education in internationally in US, Georgia Tech is one of the biggest sports sector, sports management institute, which is one of the most well known in you. There are multiple institutes, but I'm just taking a couple of names which are the known things that people can actually understand what are the course curriculum and how do you define the course. Then in UK, Loughborough University is one of the biggest in the is one of the topmost in the world in UK. Then we're talking about University of Liverpool, University of Leeds. Then we're talking about in Australia, Deakin is a big name when it comes to sports. And why do these people are big? And what and if I'm talking about the US, Europe, or Australia, you also see the athletes from there are also performing at different level. So education, sports education has been a part of their growing up journey, and that is why you see the impact on the winning the medals, winning the tournaments, winning the championship. Everything you look at, there is a commercialization level at different level. Why it has happened? Because the sports education is a part of their upbringing and the professional life as well. So when you get into when you do follow your career, I'm sure there are a lot of undergrad students who might be listening to this who might want to consider that, okay, is sports a career for me? Yes. Is sports a career? But I'll be very honest with you. Sports is not something which is going to give you instant gratification. It is not some like when I say that, it's not going to be like doing an MBA and getting the 15, 20 lakh rupee job, which happens in other fields, which are mature fields, but you don't know what job is. Here, you will surely know what the job is, but the job, the entry barrier, entry to the market may be little low. But imagine the satisfaction that you have at the end of the day, because you will do a bank work in a bank for 5 years, when you will get frustrated and then find a different ways to do something. Here, in 5 years, you will be so senior that, and your passion and your profession will mix, and you will find your own ikigai. So that is what will happen because of the sports industry. So you will have struggle for first 3 4 years of your career after coming into sports industry, because the industry is maturing. You're growing with the industry, but within 5 years, kind of thing that you will achieve out of this is phenomenal. Guys, I entered sports industry at the age of 35, 34, because I did not have opportunity while growing up to be part of sports industry. You people ask me what is the biggest thing happened to you when you came to follow your passion. I tell them my monthly package became my annual package. So, but yes, I'm there because I have a good night's sleep at the end of the day. I love every moment of it. I get to talk to so many wonderful people, so many students, and everything because of sports industry. I get to work with the athletes. I get to work with the federation, association, and I feel that I'm a part who can make a change happen. I have that possibility to make a change happen, and it's so. Everybody knows Ravi Shastri hit six sixes in a domestic game. Anybody, but do you even know that it is in the history? But the guy who he hit those six sixes to is also part of history. Everybody know Yuvraj Singh hitting six sixes to Stuart Broad with the so much of brand the media that every it gets seen to us every day. YouTube is throwing those things every day to us. But when Ravi Shastri did, or when Clive Lloyd did before that, we just know these batsmen did it. But the bowlers also are part of the history. So imagine the role that education can play by highlighting this kind of journey, because finally it's all about history and how you make use of the history to have a better future. So now I'm coming to the education part of sports education, MBA. In MBA, in sports management and events, these are four prominent fields which are there, and the sports management as a as a post graduation course. When I say sports technology, I'm talking about analytics, like the analysis that you get to see on my platform Sportsy says on YouTube. I interviewed Gaurav Sundaraman, who is a lead analyst with ESPN Cricinfo, kind of insights that he has to give about how to make a career out of sports analytics, what are the traits of analyst, all those things. It's a phenomenal ways to look at it. Accelerator investing into somebody like fantasy, like Dream 11 is a fantasy, but it's a sports technology platform. Finally, it's a fantasy league, but it's a sports technology platform. Now it's $1 billion. It's a unicorn, first Indian sports unicorn that we have. Then we're talking about something like wearable, like the Apple Watch or Xiaomi and all those things the wearables we are wearing. That is a technology which is enabling you to have monitor your performance and give that performance back to the coaches to tell them how I did, how am I doing, and what can be done to me. This is intrusive variable, but they are non-intrusive variable where their mat can be laid under your under your mattress, and it monitors how you slept the whole night, and how good are you to perform the better action as a player the next day. So there is a variable. The sports technology is a huge industry that we're talking about. We get to see a lot of players playing with the vest that they have, and there's a device that goes inside their vest to monitor their whole tracking of what they do. So that was sports technology industry. Then coming to the event industry, I already spoke about it. Event has got multiple things: how you conduct the event, how do you do the event. Inside event, you can look at operations, event marketing, event sales, sponsorships, Then you're talking about finance, everything. So a commerce graduate who is good in finance can look at event, sports management event with the finance as a specialization in that, which is the dearth in India. Anybody interested in law, doing sports law is a phenomenal opportunity for you to work into. A typical operations person who is very methodical about their work style and did not feel that I'm a good sales guy, there's a bigger opportunity for you to play. And somebody who is like a street smart person who feel that I can do anything and everything, I can sell everything that I want, then you are one of the most important person that industry needs, because the sports is going to grow the moment money comes into it. So how will you make money come into sports? By getting sponsorship, getting revenue, getting commercialization. So that is why I always say event has got a bigger umbrella, plays all these things. Then I'll come to third area of specialization that you can consider is the talent management or sales and marketing, where you work with the athletes. You groom. You are not going to teach an athlete how to play, but you have to take care of everything else that I spoke about, the athlete ecosystem that you do, and help make sure that they are focused only on playing, while you take care of all the other activities which are going to make them a better athlete every day. So there's athlete management, and from athlete management, you go to talent management. From there, you go to celebrity management. There's a path that you have, because every athlete has talent, but not every talent becomes a celebrity. So start becoming a narrow thing. But yes, there are people who are the celebrity level, and luckily, we are going in the right direction, and we are getting more and more athlete celebrities. There are more and more heroes and sheroes which are coming out. Earlier, we were just talking about Sachin Tendulkar or say Prakash sir or Gopi sir and all those things. But now it's growing. We have a bigger base that we are looking at. So that is the talent management. Sports commercialization sponsorship is a big role, because you need to see money in the whole thing. Right now, the platform I'm on, I'm speaking for my platform. Let's Talk Sports on Sports Says platform. But right now, what is Rajesh sitting in front of? He's showing Chitkara University board behind him. I'm showing a Sportsy board behind me. On my TV, there's a banner which is going on. Why? This is my way of marketing it. This is how Rajesh is. I'm not saying it's not wrong. It is way of having a brand entity. It's You're making a brand visible. You're making a brand enable for people to see it, and that is a role that we can play, because the sports needs that visibility. The athlete needs the visibility for them to get more and more commercial value out of it. And the fourth part in the whole thing, I spoke about technology side, I spoke about the event side, I spoke about sales, marketing, and talent side, and the fourth thing I talk about the grassroots side, which we already spoke about, that starting up the academies and all those things, because grassroots development is very, very, very crucial in the whole process. So I assume that I have given a brief understanding of what the sports management can bring you. Just to give you throw you some facts about the sports in this industry that we have right now. Considering this year's pandemic wasn't there, 2022 we would have had almost 43 lakh jobs in sports. Yes, it might be little stagnant like any other industry, but we were expecting to have, right now, there are hardly 5 lakh jobs which are people working in sports industry. And when I say they're not even dedicated to sports industry, but we're talking about over next 5 years and 10 years, we're talking about around 50, 60 lakh jobs getting created. And the areas which are going to have more and more job, the big sports fans, then event management, broadcasting and media, grassroots, and manufacturing. You guys are in the area of which is the India's one of the biggest manufacturing belt, which is north side of India. So there's so much opportunity. What like Nivea has a big factory, Adidas, Nike, Reebok, everybody is having their presence in north of India. So sports manufacturing is a huge industry, and apparel is a huge industry. We still have not even seen the people usually say it's a tip of the iceberg. We have not even seen the tip of the iceberg yet. We are talking the US. In US, the sports contributes $80 billion to their GDP. You know how much India contributes to our GDP right now is $1 billion, and we are three times the US size of population, and we are 140th, 180th time of their contribution to the GDP. Imagine what kind of scope that we have. Why do you think Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool's wishing you happy Holi and happy Baisakhi? Not because they like our festivals, because they know there are 1.3 billion people and almost 800 million have mobile phones, and they want to capture this user base. what is stopping us to do that and have India a better thing. So guys, I'm open to the questions, and I just want you to say one thing is, let's keep talking about sports, make India a sporting nation. We want to see the India's flag not at the winning the war, but at the podium at the national level, international level. And please do follow my channel Sportsy Says on YouTube. It's the same name, Sportsysays, Sportsy Says, across all platforms. So Rajesh, I'm open to any questions and
Great,
that you may
wonderful,
have.
wonderful said. I've written about the YouTube channel in the chat also for everyone to see. But I mean, what amazes me is the fact that I mean, you were the quintessential jack of the management program, having a settled life in US, doing IT consultancy, and then at the age of 35, I mean, you take this plunge to start from scratch. I mean, I'd like you to talk about this first before I have some other questions coming in. I mean, what instigated you, and I mean, for somebody else, what is your message for them?
Yes. Honestly speaking, the athlete in me never died. I always say I'm a failed athlete, but I'm a successful sportsman. There's a difference between an athlete and sportsman. Everybody can be an athlete, but are you a sportsman? Because sportsman is all about attitude. Sportsman is all about the passion. And I wanted to take a plunge, not to I hate to have regrets in my life. So I wanted to take a plunge to see if I can marry my passion in the profession. And I took a plunge. Touch wood, it worked out well. And but the new generation has a chance to do it at the year 2022, and they don't have to wait till 35 to do it. So I think, guys, take this plunge, take this chance, find who are you. And I think there's a lot of things you can do, because how much ever you say that it is, I don't know this, can I do this, paisa kab aayega, ye kab aayega. Go on the football field, go on the cricket field, and there'll always be a smile on your face. You'll never have a grumpy face. That means you love it.
Great. Sid, I'm going to move on to some questions that I got earlier today. Uh,
Yes.
some students are wanting to know, uh, making a career choice or academic choice, what's the difference between studying an event management program and a sports management program, and what trajectory does the career take after studying these two programs? And if you could throw some light on it, please.
Yes. It's a good question, and I get this question every time, because the event management industry goes beyond sports as well. It's like Percept, who is doing the film fair as well as the IPL. So if you are into event, if you like doing events, then आप शादी भी कर सकते हो, आप मुंडन भी कर सकते हो, आप फुटबॉल मैच भी कर सकते हो, और फिल्म फेयर भी कर सकते हो. So that is what the event industry is. But how much will you learn in event management avenues for you to have a better life? Where if you do sports management as an MBA, then you get your MBA degree, proper MBA degree, and inside that you can get a specialization that you want. So you are better equipped to handle more challenges in the outside world, and better equipped. Your armor is bigger. If I can say, you're not going out only if you're playing a PUBG. You're not going with only 1.22 mm. You're actually going with you have a rifle, you have a shotgun, you have a long range, you have a pistol.
That's a good analogy that you're given. I think wonderful. And for a foodie like me, I would say event management is like a thali, and sports management is the specialization in your field of interest.
Yes.
In fact, in fact, Rajesh, and said this is you have given a wonderful overview of sports industry and sports as a career, and I think Rajesh, you will also agree, and Sid, you will also agree. What I could gather from this talk is that whatever discipline we are into, for example, I'm taking BBA, I'm taking BCA, or I'm into bachelor's program for engineering or for computer applications, or I'm doing MBA or MSc or MTech or whatever. I think this sports is uh, such a important. It has a larger landscape. I can be
Yes.
from any discipline, but if I'm a player, I can anytime I can make a career in sports by has no relation with that I'm doing engineering. I cannot be a sportsman. I cannot be a
No,
sports event
exactly.
manager. So
Correct.
it's very tightly connected and water tightly connected. Uh, and if I'm a marketing expert, I can still be a sports event manager. If I'm a science graduate, I can still be a sports manager. And the way you have explained that the students can be the coach, they can be the yes, please. I want you to
Okay.
speak on this, the value
Yeah.
of this
I,
interdisciplines.
yeah, that is what I was coming to, and I think you made a very good point. Believe me, the engineers are better managers
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's right.
yes, everybody looks at passing engineering with 40 marks. I understand that, but to get those 40 marks, there is a methodical approach that you take to every process. I'm not also the commerce graduate. If you're a commerce graduate, the way you tally your balance sheet gives you eye for detail. The art graduate, if you are creative enough, because art you are going to learn about history, you're going to learn about language, you're going to learn psychology or sociology or political science. When you're learning this subject, that means you are taking interest in the whole process of understanding what happened and how to implement that. So if you're an architect, imagine a opportunity that you have in building the stadiums or building the infrastructure and the ground that we require. The medicine profession who doesn't want to be a doctor, have a professional doctor, but come into the sports medicine, phenomenal career to be made in sports medicine. So this industry, any graduate can come into this industry, but you need to have that special the post graduation on top of it to make sure that you understand exactly where you want to apply it. So
Yeah,
a doctor may not be able to apply it through sports management degree because they want to be technical, but everybody else can actually apply it for the betterment. So this is interdisciplinary subject that you can actually look at because finally the outcome is a bigger goal than doing a small software code and losing your sleep over a missing semicolon.
that's right. That's right. So, so that means the students. This is a message for the participants. The students can continue to have their specialization they are, but at the same time they can continue having the passion for the sports or the game that they are into. Uh, because now I have clearly understood after listening said that behind every successful sports person that we see today, there is a large network of professionals working tirelessly behind the scenes,
Yes,
and all of them are from different streams. That means all streams and all disciplines qualify to be part of sports industry from
correct.
career standpoint. Am I correct, Sid?
Yes, I think it is very well said, sir. I think that is how it is. Everybody has an opportunity. But while you are in any of your stream and you want to be part of the sports industry, at least don't leave consuming sports. There's a content which is thrown at you. Keep yourself updated. And we are moving into the era where redundancy has to go away. The robots can take over your job. If you are a manual QA, the automation is going to take already taken over your job. If you are in the whole process.
So are we referring to some esports category? I mean, are we referring to certain games which are not played on the ground but on the screens? So what
Yes,
are your comments on that? I mean, this is also a very critical thing. Nowadays, I've
yes.
seen many of the youngsters on the screen, they are playing football, which to me sounds very strange that how somebody can play football on screen with one,
Yes.
with a mobile in
So,
hand or a
so,
cricket or a badminton. So,
sir, you should,
so
sir, you should see the video episodes which I have launched. Every athlete is playing FIFA on PS3. So everybody knows how MS Dhoni is so fond of PUBG and how we end up playing PUBG and in our free time with MS us and everybody we play PUBG. So esport is a big market, but we have to understand that esport athlete also has to take care of. There is a physical regime for the athlete as well, because you're talking about straining your uh, arms, fingers, your eyes, and your neck. It's like a Formula One driver who is completely stuck into his area where he's driving, but at the end of every race they are losing around 4 pounds of the weight because only of the exertion that they have. The esports athlete also have to look into that, because otherwise they are going to have problems with their neck, their eyesight, and having the finger problem. So that is a big industry which is coming up. And uh, un- uh, I feel very bad sometime that this may be the first uh, gold medal beyond Abhinav Bindra that we may get in Olympics if esports come to Olympics. We are still waiting for other people to chime in to do it. But esports is been introduced into Asian Games and Commonwealth now, and it will be part of Olympics sometime, because finally we are considered a sport.
Oh, that
Then the F1 racers played in the simulator and had the races for fun. So everything is happening, and esports is a big industry that people can consider, and you can be a player at any age. But understand, if you look at esport, the whole ecosystem around it doesn't change. There can be arcades that which the infrastructure. There are going to be physios. We are going to be required for those people to be managed. There are going to be sponsorship which is going to be required. There's going to be operations for those events to be managed. So there is a thing which is required for esports. So I'll take one question. I think it's an interesting question. Do you see BSc hospitality student doing well after doing an
yeah.
MBA in sports and event? So Amit, I think it's a very good question, and you believe me, I did not touch upon hospitality while talking about, but you have a big aspect to play in the growth of sports, because what is the experience fan is getting when they're inside the stadium is what hospitality industry is giving them. It is not about me getting pizza on my seat or something like that. I'm not talking about that side. I'm talking about, are you creating the fan zones for fan to feel attracted to come to the stadium? Are you talking about having a good see? I say one thing that uh, if you're into event and hospitality, for you the highest quality standard that you can maintain is having the toilet clean, having the pathways clean, having the seats proper, having there has to be a smile on every fan's face at any section of the ground when they're there, from the parking all the way to entry, ticketing, to come inside. So hospitality plays a big role because you guys are groomed to think about the customers differently, and you play a big role. It's a for you it's a skill that you actually develop easily because of your academics. Other people have to acquire it, so which is tough for them. So I think you have a phenomenal career in that.
That's great. I think this is referring to that part of user experience also. I mean, the same way it's fans experience. So when we
Yes.
visit a stadium, we see the sports. We should we should feel happy about it. So that experience should be large enough to feel motivated to come back and to enjoy the sports and to be part of it. So this is one of the questions which now probably answered by Sid and by the student. Uh, who handles the user experience? And I think Sid has rightly answered it. That
Yeah.
who handle the fans experience. So there is another interesting question, Sid. I think this is
Yes.
dropped into my box. I have been a national level athlete. Divya Kumar is saying that I have been a national level athlete and very much inclined towards fitness, along with that I also like finance as a discipline. So
Hmm.
my question to the expert is that what are the career options available for me? So he's an athlete and interest in finance as a discipline. So can he expect some career in sports later on?
I think first thing first, congratulations on being an athlete, and a competitive athlete makes a big move for yourself, and keep don't let want to go in finance, any kind of industry. I got really confused whether he wants to be in finance or want to be in fitness. So the question is, he wants to be he's interested in finance part of it. That's what, if I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Divya Kumar, I think it's you have being an athlete already gave you a focus approach. So that means you are focus about the activity that you're going to do. So finance is a great field for you to pursue it. But see, I don't want people to go away from the sports industry. I'm very selfish. Being in sports and that way. So yes, your finance, you can learn finance and come back to sports industry, work in sports industry on sports finance, which is a big thing because without finance, the industry is nothing. There is no other way of income. The sponsorship money that comes in, how do you manage that money? And you can't be spending all the money. You have to make sure there is a fallback option for the next year and the year after that. All those things. So you have a potential to play in the CSR activities of managing funds. You have a potential to play with the event companies managing the budgeting and funds. At the same time, you have a possibility to play with the teams and not it may not be individual athlete, but with the team level where you're working with finance team of those teams. So yes, you have an opportunity, very well opportunity, and you being an athlete always gives you added advantage if you want to be part of the industry again.
And thank you, Sid. This is wonderful. Before we go to Rajesh, and Rajesh has a couple of questions. This is a very, very interesting comment, and I understand. Since I'm representing the students set and the participants. See, sports, we relate sports with the pleasure, with the leisure time, uh, with the time when we are free from all other things, and then we play sports, and we find it so fulfilling, and we take it as a good experience. But it is still hard, uh, being in India, it is still hard to take sports as a career. Being a medical professional or being a management professional, somehow it strikes very hard to the young minds in in India at the moment to take sports as a career. That's why many of our young participants of this seminar, they are dropping a message to me and they're saying that we want to be the players. We don't want to manage the sport. Well, this is a very interesting statement. So since so,
How?
so
But I'll quickly jump. I'm sorry to cut you here, but I'll quickly jump. How long you're going to be player?
yeah,
I'm
no, no,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
please.
talking I'm talking to India's goalkeeper, India's football team goalkeeper who wants to do his MBA now because he's going to retire at the age of 20, 34, 35. You're talking about Rahul Dravid and Abhinav Bindra making a statement that employability of athletes beyond their playing career is one of the biggest things that we have to look at as a country. So you may want to be an athlete, but you have to understand when to pull the plug. Whether you can continue to be a recreational athlete, then you can have a job in any industry and still be a recreational athlete. But if you want to be a professional athlete, you have to understand whether you are there to be a professional athlete or no. I don't know who is asking this question and all those things. I'm just making a generic statement here. You may be already representing Punjab in cricket, or you're already playing in PKL as on the benches, and you may have a scope, or you're a badminton player who's already in the probables of PBL. Perfectly fine. But you have to understand how long you can be an athlete. But if you like sports, imagine a sports management working up in the sports industry, you are going to have that fun for rest of your life. That is what is important. You have to understand when to pull the plug and where to put the plug back for you to have your life back. It's a lifeline. For me, sports is lifeline. I played till the age of 18 competitive sports. After that, 13 years of IT happened to me and I started breathing again. The quality of air was tough. The oxygen saturation was low. If you can understand the analogies. But yes, I survived. But I have my lifeline. That is what is all about. You can have passion for anything, but if you have a passion for something, make sure that you convert your passion into your profession. Then you will have that is the only way for you to have a satisfied life. It's together. The IMG Reliance is together. Then I'll go in the category wise. If you're talking about event side, you're talking about IMG Reliance, Percept, or you're talking about DNA. Then you're talking who is managing Khelo India or the IPL teams and all those things. So there are event management companies who are the potential hirers. Then technology wise, Sports Interactive, then Dream 11, then Agram Technology, Sports Mechanics, Huddle. Uh, there are again tons of those companies who are there. who are your potential hires. Then you're talking about the operations. You can work with the ISL team, IPL team, Pro Kabaddi teams on the operations side internally as well in that. Athlete management, there are companies like JSW Sports, Go Sports, or OGQ, which is Olympic Gold Quest, Golden Goose, Run Adam. These are the companies who are hiring athlete managers, or Laksha Foundation, who is managing hiring athlete managers. Then companies like JSW or Reliance or Tatas or Goenkas who have bigger portfolio to sports, they also have their own center of excellences towards the development of specialties. So those people like I have the high performance centers and all. So those are the people who are hiring. So you have because finally at the end of the day you have to understand you have to be relevant to be hired. You need to have a skill which is hireable. You need to be a groomable person. You can't be coming with the open the batting or at three down. You have to make sure that a batsman play for the team. Say there are multiple again. If you follow the channel, you will get to see a lot of information around the same thing, and a lot of specific questions may be hired answered there.
Wonderful. Sandisha, do we have any more questions? Because I think there are a lot of questions said, but I think we're going to compile a lot of them and send it across to you.
Please do that. As I said earlier, I'm happy to answer every question that comes my way. If you can put it in the buckets, or if you want to do that, or the students can reach out to me on Twitter. My handle is Sid_Desh. You can put a question to me on Sid_Desh there, or you can follow me on Sportsy Says on any of the platforms. Other than the YouTube channel, Sportsy Says, I have the same name for on Insta, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You can go there, post a question on my name. I will that you have. And yes, through college also I will answer when Rajesh sends to me. But if you want to have immediate, because after this thing, I will go on my computer and start talking about it, so I can answer those questions there as well.
Thank you very much, Sid. Thank you very much. And we would welcome you to the campus once the things get normal. And thanks again for such a wonderful session. I mean, we really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Really appreciate that, and look forward to see meeting you in person and
Welcome.
having a normal in the new normal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
That's true. Okay, stay safe and thank you very much. Thank you,
you
Rajesh.
too. Thank you guys. Thank you. Enjoy. Take care and keep playing sport.
Yeah,
Oh yes, yeah.
thanks all
And
the
let's talk
participants.
sports. And let's talk
Let's
sports.
let's talk sports. Yeah, that's true. Thanks all the
Thank you.
participants.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.